Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where I think for sure this time we are headed into a final battle, and of course it's going to be with Gilgamesh over at Ryoto Temple. Basically very similar to the previous route, however Kotomine really should be dead this time. I want to say that he is for sure out of the picture, but the location for the Holy Grail to appear will definitely be at the temple again. That is one of the locations that it can appear, as was brought up earlier. And yeah, the vessel is Shinji, and I guess the core, or whatever they're calling it, is Ilya's heart. So we got that going on for us. And Shinji is basically dead as well. Like, he is no longer even remotely himself. Which, I guess that's karma. That really is karma for him. I feel kind of bad for him. But he was being a bit of a snake in this one. And I guess you could argue that he's always been a bit of a snake. So I want to, before we really jump in here, I should really wait till we have some music. I have kind of been neglecting servant and weapon data. I don't know if anything new is here. I mean, there is this. This is the sword that Archer used during the showdown against with him and Shirou. The final showdown that they had, he would switch between his dual blades to this. This is Calidbolg the Second. This is believed to be the magical sword owned by the Irish hero Fergus, but just as the second in the name suggests, Archer has enhanced it in ways that make it different from its namesake. Calidbolg is the noble phantasm said to be the nemesis of Cuchulainn. There we go. Another great Celtic hero. And due to the oath, Gias, that Cuchulainn cast on himself, he is fated to lose at least once to this sword if its wielder has ties to Ulster. I don't remember if we read up on this one. This is the sacred sword of Roland the Paladin from medieval Europe. Durandal was said to have been granted to Charlemagne by angels, and he bestowed the sword upon Roland, chief among the 12 peers. It is said to be a radiant sword containing 3 miracles and does not lose its sharpness even if its wielder's magical energy is exhausted. As with Caliburn, it was forged to be a splendid symbol of authority. Maybe we did read about that one. I don't remember this one either. Harp, the divine sword that Perseus, a famous hero of Greek myth, used to slay the Gorgon Medusa. Ooh. Harp itself is not particularly outstanding as a sword, but its most unique property is its ability to refract longevity. This is a divine power that nullifies powers of immortality, and wounds made by Harp can never be restored, though healing via natural laws is still possible. It was used to kill Medusa, the youngest of 3 immortal sisters. I don't even remember this one either. Damn, how long has it been since I've jumped into the weapon data? Because a lot of these don't even look remotely familiar. I want to say that we read about this one, actually. I'm kind of skimming through here, and I want to say that this one we've read through. I don't remember anything about this one either. I can't even begin to pronounce whatever that is. But this is a cursed noble phantasm that brings ruin to its owner. The sword was passed down through the tribe that killed the Norse hero Siegfried. It was initially part of the horde of Fafnir the dragon. Maybe we read about this one as well. We know these. We know this. I want to say we also know this. I think we have read about this one. I'm pretty sure. And then in servant data, people in the comments have been sort of talking about the skills. I've never really looked too much into them. Like, I kind of just glance into them. Let's see, whose is a good example? Probably Gilgamesh. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, reading about the magic resistance and independent actions, I mean, it's good to note sort of what we have going on. And also people were talking to me in the, maybe the previous episode or the one prior, that Gilgamesh was able to stick around longer sure, it's an archer's skill, but also because of him sort of getting bathed in the Holy Grail, which I kind of forgot the details of, except for him being kind of corrupted by the Holy Grail, which I'm pretty sure is still true. But thank you to you guys in the comments for keeping me up to speed, because there's a lot going on, and I obviously can't remember everything. Okay, back to the story here. Time is passing by. The hands on the clock are about to signal a new day. Tosuka told me to at least take a nap, but I'm not really in any condition to fall asleep. In a few hours, we'll have to face that servant. If we move right before dawn, that means everything will be over by the time the sun rises. Oh, another thing. I have always been under the impression that Assassin has been killed, or that he's just not around anymore, because his master in Caster is no longer alive. So I thought, well, if the chain of command here is gone and the assassin class doesn't necessarily have any ability that will, keep them around much longer, then they should disappear within a couple of hours. But it's never really been talked about. However, somebody did bring up a point that we did learn that Assassin is very much tied to the temple. He can't leave the temple. That is the only place that he can remain. So if maybe he has magical energy that is being supplied to him from the temple in some wicked way, then maybe he is still around. So we have to consider that, especially based on what Gilgamesh said in the previous episode. There's no way I can stay still in a time like this. I should. Wait, we actually get a choice here. We actually do get a choice. I have a feeling that this is very similar to the choice that we got at the very end of the Fate route. And I remember it was to, I think what I did initially was go to the dojo and practice with Saber. And that was not the right choice. I thought, you know what? That'd be cool, but it didn't help us. I do think that we should strategize with Tosuka. A strategy against Gilgamesh. If we are to face a cold-hearted enemy like that, we will end up with nothing but regret if we don't try to find an opportunity. If we go to Ryoto Temple now, I'm sure someone is going to die. Rather than end up with a regret like that, it's not a shame to try to do anything, to struggle until the very last moment. Yeah? We should try to come up with something for sure. I knock on her door. Knowing Tosuka, I thought she would be sleeping by now, but it seems she's still awake. Not only that, but she's panicking. A lot of noise going on here. Maybe she's putting away lamps. I can hear her running around the room for something. It seems she's finally calming down. After a loud, deep breath that I can hear through the wall, she opens the door. She glares at me as soon as we see each other. Huh. Why are you staring me down like that? I already know what she's going to say, but it doesn't hurt to ask. What do you think? She'd obviously yell at me, but I really am curious, so I end up asking her anyway. However... Well, now she's making me even more confused. No, it's just her personality. Tosuka drags me inside the room and locks the door. Then she slowly moves back into the room. Why'd she lock the door? Anyway, I start to move toward the center of the room. Facing toward Tosuka, I sit down across from her. Silence. Awkwardness. She said that she had something that she wanted to talk to me about, yet she's not saying a word right now.
セイバーと戦わせたくないって言うんでしょ。セイバーには優しいのよね、エミヤ君は。
な、そういう話じゃないだろう。単にセイバーじゃあいつとは相性が悪いから配置換えをするべきだって話だ。足止め役のセイバーが倒されたら次に狙われるのは遠坂なんだから。
じゃあ配置換えって言うけどどうするつもりよ。私はパスよ。あの金ピカ金に焼かせて大魔術の武装をまとってるし、私じゃあセイバー以上に相性が悪いわ。それはあなただって同じでしょ。
She's right. But I just can't forget those eyes. What Archer's gaze was trying to tell me. That golden servant. Only Shirou Emiya can go up against Gilgamesh.
遠坂、怒らないで聞いてくれ。あいつの相手は俺が。
あなたがするって言うんでしょ。なんだ、やっぱり気づいてたんだ。ギルガメッシュの宝具の天敵はアーチャーの魔術なんだって。
My jaw dropped. Well, I thought the idea was that, Shirou, way before he becomes, the mighty hero and guardian Shirou Emiya, or Emiya, just Emiya, what we knew as Archer, the power there could actually come in handy because there isn't really a noble phantasm to counter. And that's Gilgamesh's whole shtick, is being able to counter whatever his opponents have. But Shirou doesn't have anything.
シロー、あんた気づいてなかったっていうのに、そんなふざけたこと口走ったわけ？
いや、それは確証がなかっただけで、俺たちの中なら一番俺に可能性があるかなと。
誰に入れ知恵されたか知らないけど、それは間違いじゃないわ。ギルガメッシュを最強たらしめているのは宝具の数でしょ。けど逆を言えば、同じ数の宝具さえ持っていれば力は拮抗する。
同じ数の宝具？
Basically, I just need to copy every single one of his weapons as soon as he unleashes them.
そうよ。あいつはあなたたちのことを偽物だって言ってたけど、それは敵として脅威を感じたからでしょうね。あいつは英霊エミヤに対してだけは互角の戦いをせざるを得ないんだから。
That's true, but
そうかもしれない。けど無理がある。アーチャーの剣を一本投影するだけでボロが出るんだぞ。あんな次から次に宝具を出されたら投影も間に合わないし魔力も持たない。
あなたの魔術が今までと同じならね。けどアーチャーの宝具が何だったか覚えてるでしょ。あの魔術、固有結界さえ使いこなせるようになればギルガメッシュに対抗できる。
was that reality marble his actual noble phantasm? Because didn't he say that it kind of wasn't? It was just the soul magecraft that he was able to utilize, along with, projection and all that. But, I guess that's just the basic idea. Tosaka stares at me with high expectations. Unfortunately, I can't answer her expectations.
無茶だ。固有結界ってのは禁呪中の禁呪じゃないか。やり方がわからないし、アーチャーが世界を作るときに使った魔力は俺の数倍だぞ。
ええ、無理なのは分かってる。けどやり方ならあなたはもう知ってるはずよ。だってあなたの魔術は結局みんなそれなんだもの。強化も投影もあなたの固有結界から漏れたものに過ぎない。
Yeah, I mean, it's all connected. I guess in a way you can say it is his noble phantasm. It is his, his most powerful weapon here. It's just that it's all his. It's what he created. It's his world. His, shit, what's the Jujutsu Kaisen thing again? I've already forgotten.
必要な魔力さえあれば驚くぐらい簡単に歯車が噛み合うと思う。
仮にそうだとしても無理なことに変わりはないだろう。俺には結界を張る魔力も維持する魔力もないんだ。あいつは長い年月をかけて魔術回路を鍛えていったんだろうけど、俺にはあいつほどの魔力が。
No, but you have the same foundation as he does.
分かってる。でもギルガメッシュも言ってたでしょ。自分で補えないならよそから持ってくるのが魔術師だって。
だから俺にはそんなよそから魔力をもらってくるなんて器用な真似はできないんだって。遠坂みたいに宝石に魔力を貯めているわけでもないし。もしかしてあの宝石を使おうっていうのか。
Of course, I don't think that she'll agree to that, seeing that I don't have any training in magecraft to be able to utilize those gems.
それで済むならとっくに渡してるわ。けど私の宝石は私にしか変換できないから却下。でもアプローチとしてはそれしかない。他人の魔力を自分のものとして扱うのにはいろいろと手順があって、現状でできることといったらもうそれぐらいしかないわけだし。
なあ遠坂、どんな考えかぐらい教えてくれないか。これ
そんなことシロに言えるわけないじゃない。
It seems that she's thinking about something that's hard to tell me.
なんでもないの。方法はいくつか考えられるんだけど、その中で可能性の低いものを取捨選択していただけで。
そうなのか。それでいい考えがあるのか。
率直に言うと私とあなたの問題、魔力の蓄えのある魔術師同士をつないでやりくりする方法よ。
俺と遠坂の間にパスを通して魔力の融通をする。
そう、シローに固有結界を使うための魔力量が足りなくても私にはある。あなたには私の魔力を使ってギルガメシュと戦ってもらう。その間に私とセイバーが聖杯を破壊する。こっちにはセイバーがいるんだから、私の魔力が多少減っても戦力は拮抗するわ。
Okay. If I can use my reality marble to hold Gilgamesh back, without any other servants and masters, the Holy Grail is left wide open. Tosaka being a mage and having Saber by her side, our chance of success is high enough.
しかしだな、その前の段階が難しいというか、俺はパスの通し方なんてわからない。
そんなの承知の上でよ。その方法を考えるのが私の役目なんだし。
Tosaka is thinking of something, but she doesn't look optimistic about it.
パスの通し方だけど、即効性があって魔力の融通が可能となると方法は数えるほどしかない。一番有効なのは魔術回路をお互いに移植すること。
Transplant our magic circuits into each other. Magic circuits are secondary pseudo-nerves that can be said to define a mage. Using odd to exert influence on mana. Well, the core mechanism of a mage, it's a living inheritance to make sure one's bloodline can have the foundation necessary to realize their family's great work when they've reached the pinnacle. You can say it's like one's blood and bone that strengthen as time goes on. By the way, I meant to say ode, not odd, and then mana, not mana.
魔術回路って俺たちの中にある。
I guess either or on the last one there.
そう、魔術師の本質をお互いに移植すればこれほど確実なパスはないわ。相手の回路の一部が自分のものになればそこへ魔力を伝えることは造作もない。
Her explanation is short and simple, yet contains a sense of guilt. Of course it would. I can't even begin to imagine the consequences of doing something as crazy as transplanting your magic circuits into someone else. But we've seen it before. For a person to offer their own magic circuits to be transplanted, it also means they're giving up their integrity as a mage. But that makes this easier.
よし、俺の魔術回路を移植しよう。なんだよ遠坂。
気持ちは嬉しいけど却下。だって意味ないものそれ。
It's gotta be the other way around. Right in my face. She just ends up throwing my resolve right back in my face.
なんで？
いい？そもそも魔力を融通するのはシローの固有結界を使うためでしょ。なのにシローの魔術回路を減らしてどうするのよ。私の魔力とシローの全魔術回路を使って初めてあの固有結界は実現できるんだから。
I see. I'm the one who will use the reality marble. I will only barely be able to create a fantasy big enough to corrode the world itself when I fully exert my magic circuits. If I were to transplant some of my magic circuits into Tosaka to create a path, well then I wouldn't have enough circuits to perform my magecraft, which would defeat the purpose.
わかった。手間暇かけて戦力ダウンしているようなものよ、シロ。
すまない。そこまで考えが及ばなかった。
いいわ、そんなに謝らなくても。今の返答、それなりに予想してたし。ま、即答だったのは予想外だったけど。
じゃあ、遠坂の魔術回路を俺に？
But that also means...
確かにシローの回路を私に移植するより逆の方が戦力は確保できる。でも移植の儀式をするのは私。魔術回路を使いながらその回路自体を減らしていくだなんていうのは術そのものの安定が確保できない。使い魔の契約ほど形式化していれば安全性は確保できるけど、魔術師同士のパスのためなんてのはあんまり例がないことだし。
共倒れになるかもしれないってことか。
そう。あなたの魔術回路を私がもらうのは論外。私の魔術回路をあなたにあげるのは惜しい不正解ってところね。だからあなたに私の魔術刻印を移植する。
Her magic crest. Magic crest. It records the secrets and hidden arts of a mage's family. It's their history. If magic circuits are the blood and bones of a mage, then one could say that the crest is their muscle. A magic crest is magecraft taking form. Through the life work of the mage leading the family in that generation, what was supposed to be formless is then given form. It is the proof of a mage's existence. Tosaka having inherited her family's crest, she gets to enact the magecraft that this generation's family head created. Wasn't it like, you know, given to her at like a really young age?
いや、それは
Basically like a tattoo when you're like a baby, which is crazy.
分け与えるということなら魔術刻印の方が何倍も楽よ。まあ魔術回路ほど私そのものでもないけど、遠坂の家系でできているものだし、パスとして使う分には十分よ。
Or maybe she was a child at that point. I don't remember. I think it was brought up at one point in the Fate route when she actually got her family crest, and it didn't sound all that fun.
それは本当に？
本当だってば。刻印化している魔術はまあ使い物にならなくなるけど、受信装置としての役割ぐらいになら作り変えられるわよ。ああ、それとも成功率の話？一族じゃない人間に魔術刻印を移植できるかってこと？
ああ、それも一応気になるけど。
大丈夫、任せなさい。きっかり白をバックアップしてセイバーと3人で勝ち残って聖杯を手に入れるから。もう決めたことだもの。ここ一番の失敗も今回ばかりはねじ伏せてやるわ。
She asserts confidently with a bright smile. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Removing her magic crest. That's the same as delaying her family's ultimate wish with her own hands. I've seen that so many times. The fact that she could overcome that truth with a simple smile and with such determination is her strength. And I've seen it so many times.
何よ、急に物分かりいい顔して。私の顔なんか変？
Nah, you're just so great, honestly.
ああ、そうだな。初めて教会に行った時と同じだ。なんていうか、遠坂のいいところって分かりづらいよな。
失礼な言い草ね。それで思い出したけど、あの時私って変な顔してたの？
The fated night when I summoned Saber, Tosaka looked seriously worried about me, someone who was just her enemy when I got sick at the church. I'll never forget how much that expression saved me. I can't say too much about others, but Tosaka was a really nice person, probably nicer than anyone I've ever met.
まあ変な顔だった。俺あの時はまだ遠坂のことを優等生だって思ってたし、あんな顔するなんて思わなかった。
どうせ猫かぶりで冷酷な女ですよ。わかりづらくて悪かったわね。
Yeah, but I have been saved by her. She's kind yet realistic, and has the heart of steel who's willing to discard her weakness at a moment's notice. She hides her hesitation and troubles in her heart, and always shows the elegant side of her to everyone, treading forward on her own path with grace.
で、それはいいけど、なんでジロジロこっち見るのよ、あんた。
ああ、そっか。ちょい見とれてたみたいだ。今更だけどさ、そういう遠坂だから、俺は好きになったんだなって。
Oh, we're having this moment. Finally. Then I can't lose. She's willing to transplant her magical crest to me without hesitation and regret. Then I must repay her kindness with my own trust.
好きって、今はそういう話をしてる場合じゃないけど、聞いてあげるぐらいなら構わないというか。
Yeah, I mean, we could say that there's room or time for confessions once this is all over. But this is a serious moment, and maybe a serious confession is necessary. Even so, it's, very obvious to both that they kind of both like each other, but whatever. Tosaka is readying herself. I'm glad. It seems that she's prepared and has noticed my resolve.
わかってる。時間もないし、無駄話をしている暇はないよな。さ、早く移植を始めよう。具体的にはどうすればいいんだ、登坂。
Her mouth is wide open. That's weird. Did I just say something funny? You oblivious person.
なんだよ。なんか都合の悪いことでも思い出しちまったか？
Again, oblivious. For example, some kind of jinx that prevents us from performing the ritual at a certain time of day?
別に、ちょっと頭痛がするだけ。慣れたつもりだったけど、エミヤ君の巡りの悪さを甘く見ていたわ。ほんと、今に始まったことじゃないからいいけどね。言葉自体は、まあ悪くなかったからよしにしといてあげるわ。
For now. His timing was pretty shit, but at the same time, I respect it. She swings her body and turns away from me, and then she starts to take various items out of her bag.
はい。とりあえずこれ飲んで。痛み止めみたいなものだから。
Yeah, that doesn't bode well when you're just given a pill and told to think of it as something completely different. I put the lozenge in my mouth. Tosaka turns off the light in the room and starts to draw some kind of pattern on the floor. Here we go. About 5 minutes have passed. After the preparation is complete, Tosaka sits down on the bed.
それで登坂、俺はどうすればいいんだ？
It doesn't seem like she didn't hear my question, but Tosaka is having this strange, troubled look on her face.
なんだよ。言いにくいことなのか？覚悟はできてるからな。大抵の無茶なら驚かないぞ。
This is what I meant by trust. Tosaka nods her head.
じゃあ、言いにくいんだけど、とりあえず服を
Oh
脱ぎなさい。
boy. Here we go again. With nervousness in her tone, she issued me a command I'm not used to. Let's assess the situation. Yeah, that's one way of going about it. The lights are off. Tosaka is sitting on the bed with her head down, clearly nervous. Why am I only realizing this now? Tosaka's soft-looking body and her supple legs dangling above the floor are all making her look very seductive. And she's asking me to take off my clothes. It's a part of the ritual. It's all a part of this procedure.
そこ、変な誤解しない。単に服を脱げって言っただけでしょ。私だって脱ぐんだから公平だし。
I took my weird fantasy back after she yelled at me.
登坂も脱ぐ。
I don't know how else to interpret what she said other than taking it as exactly what it is.
だから境界しない。服を脱ぐのは体温を伝えやすくするためで、それ以上の意味はないんだから。
Yep, totally nothing else.
いい？魔術刻印の移植には高度な共感状態にならないといけないのよ。そのためにも余分なものはできるだけ剥ぎ取っておかないとダメでしょ。
ああ、なるほど。
Of course, I'm not sure what transplanting a magic crest actually looks like, but from the sound of it, it could be similar to a medical transplant. I guess you wouldn't operate on a patient when they're fully clothed.
ちゃんと説明してくれればいいのに。上だけでいいんだよな。
当たり前でしょ。下まで脱いだらそこのヒーター投げつけるから。
It's scary thinking of what she might actually do. Taking off my top, I have had her take care of my injuries a few times already, but it still feels a little embarrassing. I can hear Tosuga taking a deep breath in the dark.
じゃあ次ね。シロ、ちょっとあっち向いてて。
そうか。遠坂も脱がなきゃいけないのか。
No answer. Taking her silence as affirmation, I quietly turn around. As I turn my back towards her, I take a deep breath to calm myself. I'm going to receive her magic crest and create a path between us. Her magical energy will pass through it and allow me to activate the reality marble in order to defeat that servant. This is simply a process in this long and dangerous fight. I should be able to suppress unnecessary thoughts by just reaffirming that fact to myself.
いいわよ、シロ。
My heart skips a beat. I turn around slowly to face Tosuka. Well, that's not really what I was expecting, but at the same time, I think I'm okay with it. I let out a sound. It might seem rude, but I'm troubled by what I'm seeing.
遠坂。なんだ、その気合の入らない脱ぎ方は。
Tosuka has taken off some clothes, but from the way that she removed them, I don't feel any resolve in her.
何よ、不満だっていうの？
I mean, legs are legs.
不満というよりバランスが悪いというか。だいたいこっちは上着を全部取ってるのに、遠坂はそれだけだと比率が合わないし、どうもシンメトリーじゃないのは落ち着かない。
わかった。両足とも脱げばいいのね。こやつ、思いもよらずマニアックな。
Hey, what can we say? Well, I shouldn't press further on what we were talking about.
いいけど、儀式を行うのは遠坂だし、それで成功するっていうなら文句はない。
そりゃ脱がない分難度は上がるけど、だって全部見せちゃうのもったいないというか。
Tosuka is murmuring to herself. Yeah, what do you mean by that? Fortunately, it's taking everything in me to keep calm, so I don't have any energy left to argue with Tosuka.
じゃあシロ、もう一度後ろ向いてて。
She whispers to me and I turn around immediately. I mean, me personally, I was fine with just legs. This time, the sound of Tosuka's clothes rustling lasts a little longer than before. Once again, I remind myself that this is a serious ritual. Even if Tosuka is in her most exposed and defenseless form, my becoming frantic will ruin this whole thing. And then we'll die. Tosuka's voice trembles. I slowly look over Tosuka's body. Well, wait, she put her leggings back on? How did that make any sense? I can faintly see the soft outline of her body under the dim lamp light. Her shoulder, neck, and collarbone form the most beautiful silhouette.
どう？これで満足？
I think it's less about being happy and more so being able to do this damn thing. I'm relieved that even when she looks so beautiful, she's still the same snappy Tosuka. I try to relax my expression, as I feel that I may have unknowingly broken into a smile.
文句なし。逆にこっちがきつい。
I cover my face with my hands and take a very deep breath. If I don't at least hide my face, which is probably red as an apple right now, I will lose my composure.
その顔を見れただけでアイコンにしとく。じゃあシロ、こっち来て。
So I'm pretty sure this is actually where another H scene originally was. And, you know, it may have been a similar situation in the original script, which, by the way, thank you to all of you who kind of corrected me that the script was adjusted for all ages. It wasn't that scenes were just explicitly removed. No, they actually worked around it. They actually, you know, tied things together in a way that made sense without having to delve into what the game originally had. And I feel like this is another case of that. but I'm not going to go and try and find out. Tosuka makes a gesture beckoning me to join her at the bed. We sit facing each other on the bed bounces, reacting to our weight. Oh, this is quite the image. Without saying a word, we both take in a deep breath. Tosuka is going to start the magic crest transplant ritual. I force myself to calm down before this intimate encounter. My consciousness is getting clearer as I focus my mind.
始めるわ。シローの胸にこれを当てて。
She reaches out her left hand with the magic crest. As I began receiving magical energy, the pattern on the upper area of my exposed arm faintly started to shine.
同調した後にシローの魔術回路に魔術刻印を移植する。魔術刻印は筆記他人の体。植え付けられるのは異物を盛り込まれることだから、体は拒絶反応を示すかもしれないわ。
わかった。そういう荒事には慣れてる。
This is a very weird scene, but whatever. This is no different from how I was training to use my magic circuit. Also, what a build that Shirou has. I don't think I was ever able to comment on his build before. I don't know if we had ever seen it, but the dude is actually pretty healthy looking. Activating a foreign nerve system while learning to control it. Not sure if it will be the same experience as with a magic crest.
そうね。体に無茶させるのは慣れてるんだっけ。
Maybe because this reminded her of my unusual training, but Tosuka lets out a small giggle. However,
それはそれとして、変なことしたら殺すからね。
she glares at me with narrowed eyes.
変なことって例えば。
She ignored me. It's for the best. I shorten the distance between us to the point that our shoulders are practically bumping together. It looks like I'm embracing Tosuka's left hand. I can feel Tosuka's breath on my neck. But then I realize that she isn't just breathing.
清く将来。
Oh, that's German,
刻印制御。
I guess.
大地。
But what she's saying isn't really German. Maybe. I don't know. Her breath trembles as she utters the incantation. I can sense that magical energy is filling her body through her left hand. Her delicate fingers are placed on my chest. Through them, I can feel her pulse together with my own heartbeat.
名薬を刻む。一つ、二つ、三つ、四つ、五つ、六つ。数えなく。
Yeah, I'm not really getting a whole lot out of this. I close my eyes to concentrate even further. My heartbeat is syncing with the pulse of her magical energy. She's adjusting her pulse to match mine, while I maintain a steady rhythm. I focus my mind and keep it in a serene state like I do during my own training. This is the only thing I can do since I've never experienced synchronization and don't have a feel for it.
小さく、大きく。大きく、小さく。
I feel like she's just saying the same things over and over again.
清く。
Somebody did comment on like how the in the original, either she was actually trying to say all this and doing a terrible job, or this wasn't here or something. I don't remember how it originally was. My eyelids are closed as if they had been sewn shut. My sense of smell is weakening and my sense of taste is fading. My body's senses are getting distorted. I can't tell clearly if I'm sitting down or if I'm standing up. You guys ever feel like you're unsure if you're peeing or not? Yeah, that's not a good feeling, you know, to not know. In contrast, I can feel the warmth of Tosuka's skin intimately. My own heartbeat and Tosuka's pulse, I can't tell which is which anymore. A phantom pain as if someone was having a hold over my heart. A phantom experience as if I'm gripping someone's heart. I move around my fingers trying to identify this feeling that I have in my palm. My hearing still works. I heard a sound just now. Wait, my senses are mixed up. I can't tell if that was my body I touched or if that was Tosuka's voice I heard. The breaths that escape from her mouth are pained. Even while knowing that it isn't my own breath that I'm hearing, I can't help but listen to it.
ちょっと真面目にやりなさいよシロ
A voice from inside of me just yelled at me. I try to ask what's happening and what's going to happen.
今は同調の初期段階よだから感覚が入れ替わって混乱しているこれから本番が来るわよ集中しないと共有感覚に弾かれるから
That was as much as I could hear before I suddenly lost myself. It feels like my body is turned to paper and is rapidly being folded up. Slowly, the paper that is my body is being carefully tucked away. But since time has stopped for the surrounding world, from the outside it probably seems like all of this is happening at the speed of light. There's no limit to this repeated process of accumulation and contraction. Even though there is a limit of how many times you can fold up a two-dimensional surface no matter how much area it has, my body keeps folding inward. My vision turns blue, while it was red before I was folded up. I'm floating. I'm falling yet floating at the same time, and the world is passing me by at a rapid speed. I try to reach out my hand to familiarize myself in this world, where acceleration and termination exist at the same time. I just realized that my arms were already folded away, so there's nothing for me to reach out with. Now that's an issue. I already severed things that I've deemed unnecessary to this place, but I didn't think I would lose my arms and legs. If this keeps on, then I will lose my sense of self. That's why the first thing I need to do is not to confirm the world, but to assume my own form. Shirou seems to always go through some trippy shit in these routes. I squeeze my hands. Although temporary, I have certainly achieved a sense of self. I'm floating in a blue celestial sphere. There's no up or down, no sky or earth. It's quiet. I'm not talking about sound, but my current finite state of serenity. Time is flowing on the outside. Blue sea fills the outside. There's nothing within the celestial sphere. That means the celestial sphere is the sky to the blue sea. The egg of the world. Is the celestial sphere being covered in shells? Or is the celestial sphere flipped inside out? Does the void give birth to all? Or does the void seep out from all? The celestial sphere continues to rotate while inverted. Here, time is eternal. The formless gains form over the course of an eternity. Nothing shares the same form, and no lives differ from one another. It is a phenomenon that is common to all things. Common forms congregate and thus give form to different laws. Each rare occurrence also represents each great result. Beautiful, just like fish traversing through the vast sea. Will does not exist in this complete world. This world doesn't create persistence or preservation, no symbiosis or hostility. This place welcomes visitors. If a foreign object falls in here for them to exploit, they will of course respond to it. The tremendous flow of time is wavering. The collective of magic Crest senses the foreign object's intention, but you must be careful. My senses are subverted. I'm seeing illusions. A hidden past, not of my own, passes me. It was an old memory. Someone else's memory. A memory of parting with someone in the morning. A memory of being placed in a mansion away from Fuyuki once the battle had started. You must be careful. No matter what kind of response to whatever intention, any process conducted by them can only be perceived by humans as divine punishment. In a body that has no need for eyeballs and a brain, I'm getting dizzy. Information is passing by me. I'm seeing old memories. Parting with a certain someone in the morning. The memory of a person who watched their loved one leaving, knowing that she would never hold his hands again. Lines from the magic crests are swimming around me, surrounding me while looking for bait. There's nothing I can do. Well, there's nothing a bait can do to begin with. And this won't result to anything unless I observe and accept everything like this. Change is ever so slow. Time surrounds me in a spiral, passing through my body. It starts to corrode me, like it has been devouring the void. Uh-oh. Characters: 2. Season: winter. Name: farewell. Flowers are being offered. A young girl standing in front of the grave. A priest standing towering behind the young girl. There are no words. The girl is determined to bury her own sadness yet again today. Foreign substances are invading. Spiraled blades are closing in on the body. It is like a malicious bubble. The Crest transplant has started. I observe the gruesome reality. Fortunately, my function to feel pain is still folded away. I see myself being cuffed, binded, severed, dismembered, compressed, and played with. Yet it feels like someone else. Oh, how easy it is to cut the flesh. Oh, how easy it is to shave the bone. The only thing left felt like a soul being eternally tormented. One of my arms turned into that of an insect's. Or it seems like it. How disgusting. This is also her suffering. A type of pain that I've heard resides within the magic crest. I respect her. She harbors this kind of discomfort, or rather horror, that is several times more repulsive inside her body, yet she's able to laugh like that. She doesn't feel any disgust. When you think like that, what is there to be afraid of? Suddenly, I've come in contact with a particular deep spot. This is mixed in amongst memories of farewell and departure. It was an encounter that seared into her heart. Okay, this is the school. Someone was running in the schoolyard. It's high jump. Someone was running towards the bar again and again. She was standing there watching the whole thing. It was meaningless, yet he kept trying until sunset. She thought to herself, what is the meaning of this? Yet she kept on watching, as if she was betrayed by something, as if she just witnessed something precious. That was it. An after-school sight that's not unusual at any school. But to her, it was a sight that stirred up a revolution in her heart. Faintly, it was a sight familiar also to me, a sight from the bygone days. Time is returning to the outside. The world is returning completely. The strong self-awareness gained in exchange for my folded-away body is evaporating. Just like foam disappearing on the surface of the sea, I was cut away from the inner world as I welcome a strange substance in my arm. Well, this was fun. This was a very fun trip. Oh, there we go. We got the achievement. That's a rare achievement. I can say the little glow effect on it. Not too many people have gotten this far. That's not good. My body feels heavy. I open my eyes while I'm still half asleep and try to faintly grasp my surroundings. My consciousness is coming back. I'm lying on the bed facing up with the top half of my body naked. My left shoulder is burning and sweating. When I try to wipe the sweat away, it hurts as if it's suffering from a burn. I thought I was seeing more fingers. It's obvious I'm not the same self from earlier. Just how many hours have passed since then? Don't tell me. Did I end up passing out and sleeping while time just passed by? Tosaka, you're still there. That's a relief. I thought for sure I had overslept and... Yeah, wait, what's wrong with her? Am I imagining this, or is she glaring at me?
遠坂成功したのか
もちろん成功したわよ。申し分ないぐらいバッチリ。後遺症なんて出ないぐらいきっかり。そういうのが得意だった綺麗だって、我が弟子ながらよくやったって陰険に褒めるぐらい完璧に。
I'm sure that must be quite the achievement. But somehow Tosuka isn't proud about it, and she doesn't feel like her usual arrogant self. Rather, she's angry. She's really angry. I can sense the tension between us. She's clearly sulking about something. Well, we did just, peek into some very innermost memories of hers. I don't know why, but it seems something has gone wrong. I feel like I need to read her mind immediately and calm her down, but I'm such a bad pupil. I'm not able to think of any reason as to why Tosuka would be angry. This persistent pain in my left arm. A strange feeling that's like a combination of sharp pain from deep cuts and stinging pain from being burnt. Without a doubt, a streak of an elaborately designed seal is branded on my left arm. It looks like Tosuka's magic crest, and it emits a faint blue light.
トサカ、これが。
ええ、私から移植した魔術刻印よ。もうただの回路になって、元の魔術の痕跡もないけどね。
そうか。いや、すごいな。もっと痛むと思ったのに全然痛みがない。かすかに重いぐらいか。
それも時期になれるわ。魔力をつなげるだけのパスだから、人体にもそう影響はないはずだし。刻印。いえ、回路の方が体に擬態していくから、半年もすれば何も感じなくなる。
そうか。じゃあこれで。
移植は完了。基本的には私からシロへの一方通行で、そっちから魔力を送ることはできないわ。今の段階でできるのは、私の魔力を送ることだけ。
But what state does this put her in?
ここからはあなたの頑張り次第よ。固有結界を作る魔力はこれでクリアしたんだから、あとは。
My problem. All I need to do is fully activate my magic circuit and successfully create the reality marble.
そうだな。ありがとう、トサカ。魔術刻印、ありがたくもらっておく。
当然よ。ごめんなんて言わせないわ。お金にしたらもう超クラス。一生ものの貸しなんだから。
Well, I guess that means that we're sticking together going forward.
そりゃ、確かに一生ものだ。で、どうしてそんなにトサカは怒ってるんだ？
見たでしょ。
え？
What did I see exactly? Don't tell me that when I thought I blanked out during the ritual, my body actually acted on its own and did something to Tosuka.
待った。なんかしたのか、俺。
だから、見たでしょ。このけだもの。
けだもの。
Not possible. Did I actually do something to her that was so rough that she would use that word to describe me? Wait, there's no way that happened. I mean, the bed is tidy. And besides, I wouldn't be alive if anything like that happened.
そうだ。第一、儀式中は俺の目は機能してなかったっていうか、ほとんど真っ白だったし、見たものといえば、
Ah. Maybe that's what Tosuka was talking about? An illusion I saw for a brief moment. In the state where we were sharing our senses due to the synchronization, it's possible that we could see imagery from each other's mind. It wouldn't be much different than when I saw Saber's dream or heroic spirit Emiya's dream. It all makes sense now. If this is the case, then the only thing I saw that she would care about is the scene taking place at a schoolyard during sunset, something that I haven't seen in my other dreams.
あれだ。トサカ、変な夢見てただろ。どこかの学校の校庭で、バカみたいに棒高跳びしてるやつを、ずっと日が暮れるまで見ていたの。あれって一体なんだ？
It was her, wasn't it? I was hit by a pillow before I could finish my sentence. It was a swift and powerful swing. A critical strike even Saber and Fujine would be proud of. Or was she watching somebody do the jumps? I don't know. What is so, what's bothering her so much about that? There's another problem. It's the fact that a normal soft pillow can have the impact and damage as if it was filled with water or something.
トサカ、何を？
うるさい、うるさい、うるさい！
She keeps on hitting me with the pillow. Still, looking like she did when she started the ritual, Tosuka continues her assault with the pillow.
なんか魔力込めてないかそれ。いいからやめる。変だぞ。何がどうしたんだ。
うるさいけだもの。人の秘密を覗き見ておいて何ふんぞり返ってるのよ。
ちょっと待て。秘密ってあんなのがか。
When I was surprised by her answer, she saw the opening and hit me in the face. That was a swift and powerful pillow uppercut. Maybe it's also the exhaustion from the transplant, but I'm haphazardly knocked down again. Tosuka must still be angry because she grabbed me by the back of the neck and starts dragging me across the floor. Are we getting kicked out here?
いいわよ。いつかこっちから恥ずかしい記憶を覗き返してやるんだから。その時は土下座をしても許さないわよ。
それは勘弁。あれ、もしかして。
She won't hear me out at all. She grabs the back of my neck and throws me out of her room.
エミヤくん、女の子にはいろいろ支度があるから自分の部屋に戻っててくれない？
With that evil grin of hers, Tosuka slams the door. Thrown out into the hallway looking like this, I blankly look up at the door.
バカ言うな。男にだっていろいろあるぞ。
I hold my dizzy head and get up. I thought of saying something back to Tosuka on the other side of the door, but I decide not to. Good move. I wasn't able to ask Tosuka what that scene I saw meant to her. I wonder about it
あれ
too.
だけ嫌がるってことは何か特別な意味のあることなんだろうし。
Muttering silly stuff like that to myself, I go back to my room. It was probably just an excuse for Tosuka to kick me out, but it is true that there's no time. The date has already changed. There's probably less than an hour left before we head to the temple. Oh boy, it's almost time.
確かに。
I close my eyes and feel the magical energy from Tosuka pouring into me. Tosuka isn't consciously supplying me, yet it's filling my body up. If my maximum magical energy capacity is 20 or 30 units, then she always has 500 units of magical energy. I'm sure it would take years to stock up, but her maximum capacity might reach 1,000 units if someone supplied her.
驚いた。あいつ、本当にすごいやつだったんだ。
Yes, sirree. That reconfirms it, or rather I finally realize it now. Well, she's depleted now, and mages usually only keep about 80% of their magical energy, so Tosuka's magical energy is about 400 units right now. But that's still a massive amount of magical energy. I use about 2 units of magical energy to use strengthening magecraft once. To use projection once, I use about 5 units of magical energy on average. Using that example, the projection that I can use only 6 times at most could be used 30 or even 60 times with the help of Tosuka.
ま、いくら燃料があっても乗り物が安物ならオーバーヒートするんだろうけど。
I was going to say I really like his examples here, or the way that he's connecting it to a unit of measure, but then he, says this and it's like, okay, well, never mind. But it has still tremendously increased my power. I might even have a chance of winning against that king of heroes like this. All that's left is...
あと1時間。それまでゆっくり体を休めないと。
I'll rest my body and regain my mental and physical strength for the final battle at Ryudo Temple. Everything is set. I'll face the last night with a fully prepared body for Tosuka's sake too, since she gave me her magic crest and opened up to me. Oh boy, oh boy. Now it's time. I did not mean to save on a new slot there. Oh well. It's okay. My saving makes absolutely no fucking sense, really. I tried to make sense of it this time around, and no. Eden? What does that mean? Beats me. Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll wrap up this episode there. I guess we already saved. Yeah, what a good episode. What good preparation I think we've made. I think we're ready to go. Ready to fight Gilgamesh and wrap up this story. I don't think it's all going to be taking place in the next episode necessarily, but we're right there, guys. ready to wrap up Unlimited Blade Works, and boy oh boy has it been a fun one. I hope you guys have been enjoying this. I know I have. But if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.